Good day, everyone!
I am Ernesto Bermejo, together with my partner,
I am Aisiah Ishi, Culasino.
and today we will going to share our literary analysis about the stories of the Three Little Pigs, Little Red Riding Hood.
The Hansel and Gretel story and the Sword in the Stone.
The first story is The Three Little Pigs. The Three Little Pigs is a short story that has been retold countless times since it was originally written. There are many interpretations of the text, some more convincing than others. However, as with most art forms, perhaps the story is deliberately ambiguous so that each reader can choose to interpret the story in whichever way they like. The Three Little Pigs belongs to the formalist theory. We have all read and heard the story of the Three Little Pigs. After each of the pigs build their home, we hear the same three sentences. Little pig, let me come in. No, no, by the hair on my shiny chin-chin. I'll huff, I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Throughout the entire story, it follows parallel structure. Parallel structure is a repeating structure in the story. It could be a list or a layout of the sentences in paragraphs. The author mode it to where the same three sentences are repeated by the wolf to keep a structure and include repetition. The wolf goes through the same routine with each pig. The author is following a structure and keeping it a formality. Both of these reasons bring the Three Little Pigs into a perspective that we've never seen before. It follows formalism or formalist theory. The next story is The Little Red Riding Hood. The Little Red Riding Hood is a French fairy tale for a young children about a young girl and a wolf. The story comes from a folktale, which means that it was a spoken story for a long time before it was a written story. It was first written down in the late 1600s by Charles Perrault. In conclusion, the feminist theory can be applied to the fairy tale Little Red Riding Hood due to it following the gender stereotypes as well as the feminist literary theory. I found that the author has implied that the hidden message behind the story is to warn young girls of the dangers of straying from the straight and narrow path and also exploring the world for themselves, as that they should continue to do as they are told.
So the third story is the Hansel and Gretel story. So Hansel and Gretel is known to be a European fairy tale from German origin created by the brothers Grimm. It is a story of two siblings who are forced to be abandoned by their parents and disappear from their lives. It is a story for children, but the original story came from a perspective in the current lives of when the fairy tale was created. We can interpret the Hansel and Gretel story from the feminist point of view. There are more female characters in the story than the male. The roles played by the female are highly dominant. The stepmother plays the main role to lead the children in the dense forest. However, they are in the lap of nature. The forest or the nature itself is the female character. When they reach the gingerbread house, the house itself is a mother who provides food for the children. The witch is also a female character who wants to kill and eat the children. When the boy is imprisoned by the witch, the female character Gretel saves him by killing the witch. Thus, the female roles are dominant and significant in the story. The next story is The Sword in the Stone. So The Sword in the Stone deals with Arthur's childhood and his life shortly after becoming a king. Throughout this childhood, he learns the theories of chivalry, which involve the graduations of page, esquire, and finally knighthood. As an innovations to the Arthurian legend, T.H. White incorporates fables throughout the story, which make it more humorous and enjoyable. It has appeared in countless forms of media and is popularly considered a fundamental part of the story of King Arthur. But given that it is apparently so fundamental to Arthurian lore, we do well to ask whether there was any historical basis to it at all, or whether it was just the invention of a medieval writer. The sword and the stone can be connected to the historical theory of literary criticism. One of its examples that connects to the historical context of the story is founded on the idea that the Irish prince Arthur MacAden was the historical King Arthur. Is that the story comes from an accession story performed by the Irish royalty of Dalriada in Scotland. This ceremony involved the use of a stone known as the Stone of Scone or the Stone of Destiny. According to one tradition, this stone was brought from Ireland to Scotland by Fergus MacEarth about the turn of the 16th century. This stone was used in the accession story of the Irish kings in the Scotland until eventually it was captured by the English in the 13th century.